Hi second year, welcome to this week's Python programming lesson. Starting off with the learning intentions and success criteria. So today we're learning what debugging is and how to debug code. By the end of the lesson we can explain what debugging is, debug errors in Python code and demonstrate our Python code skills. Now, what is debugging? This woman over here is Admiral Grace Hopper. She is a very important person in computer programming, computer science in general. She invented a lot of the concepts about how modern computer programs work. It's a very important person. She also was responsible for coming up with the term of debugging. And this happened in a very old computer that used lots of valves and vacuum tubes and stuff. And something took up about the size of a room. It was enormous and it wasn't working. And she found out it wasn't working because a moth had got stuck in and had jammed a piece of equipment. So debugging was getting that moth out of there. And we still use that term debugging for when something isn't working and we're going to get rid of the error. So how do we debug? Easiest way to debug, at least at the level we're working at, is a couple of stages. First of all, we find out where the bug is. Python makes this really easy for us because when we try to run it and it doesn't work properly, we get a wee error message at the side telling us where it is. Then we can find some similar code that works properly. So if we get another example that is working, what we can do is compare both of them and find where the differences are, because that's going to help us fix it. And then we're going to alter the bugged code so it follows the design of the working code. And we've got a wee example there to show you. So in this case we print hello world and print my name is Bob. And in terms of the output we had a syntax error, bad token on line 2. Now we don't need to know what bad token means. The bit that matters to us is line 2. So we know line 2 isn't working. Line 1's absolutely fine. So we're going to compare the two of them. So we're looking through it and look at the print. It's the same there. I've got the brackets are the same there. The inverted commas are the same there. We've got some text. The text is different, but it's displaying different things. So that's absolutely fine. We've got the inverted commas there, but we've only got a single inverted comma there. So I would say that that is the error. So line 1 is ending with the double inverted commas and the bracket, and line 2 is ending with apostrophe and the bracket. So if we change the ending of line 2 to match the same as line 1, it should work, which is what I've done. So as you can see down there, line 2, we've got my name is Bob. We've now got that inverted commas and the bracket there, and we can see that it's working absolutely fine. We're just going to move on to a wee recap of all the stuff we've done so far, just to help with our wee quiz and our practical work today. So for displaying text, we use the print statement to display it, and inside the brackets is what is printed. We've got two examples here. Both of them are going to say print hello. Both of them are going to work. It doesn't matter if we're using the inverted commas or the apostrophes, but they do have to match on either side. So we can't use, like we saw in the error before, we can't use the apostrophe one side and inverted commas the other. We've got to use the same on both sides. Either of them will work. We get calculations. We're very good with calculations. Just a wee reminder, we've got the plus, the minus, the multiply and the divide. So we cannot use X for multiplying, that's not going to work. So we've got the wee star symbol that we're going to use instead. And for divide, we're using the slash. We don't have a divide button on the keyboard, so it's that backslash button there to divide. For inputs and variables, for example, we get n equals input, what is your name? Now in that, n is our variable, and we're just using that as a wee box to store information in. And that input command lets the computer ask a question and get an answer. Our next wee example is print hello n. That is going to print the word hello, because that's in inverted commas, it'll print that exact word. And it will print whatever we've got stored in n. So we've got n equals input, what is your name? Whatever we typed in there is now stored in n. So whatever we typed in is what is going to be displayed. And that comma in between them is just joining those two bits of text together. Now selection. This is about as tricky as it is going to get in first year. and this is the computer deciding what to do next. So based on a condition, it's making a check on something, and if that check's okay, it's going to run a bit of code. For example here, if name equals Bob, print hello Bob, and the important bit here is that that print is indented, so there's a space in. So it tells the computer to check something, so that double equals there is checking, does name match Bob? So if we go back a wee slide a second, get a single equals there, that's when we're setting values. So n equals input, what's your name? We are setting that value of n with a single equals, and the double equals here is used to check if a value matches. And the indented line is what is going to happen if that condition is met. So in this case, if name is Bob, it is going to print hello Bob, and it will continue on working down, only running any other lines of indented code only if name is Bob. Moving on to today's work, we're going to start off with, as usual, we've got a wee quiz on Google Classroom for you to have a go at, and then we've got 2 practical tasks on Discovery Education. Those practical tasks are debugging and test your skills. Now, all of us will be able to manage parts 1 to 5 of debugging. They're getting trickier as they're going on. Most of us will manage all of parts 1 to 7, and some of us will manage 1 to 9. 9 is especially tricky. And for the second task, all of us will be able to manage the test your skills. Just do the best that you can with it, and make sure you're taking screenshots, letting us know how you're getting on. And if you're in any trouble accessing that code, please check the YouTube video. It's got a wee demonstration of how to get started. And for these 2 tasks here, we don't have the usual help videos at the side because we're doing this as a wee assessment to see how you're getting on without being told exactly how to finish it. So good luck second year, and if you're stuck at any point, please just send us a wee email, drop us a message in Google Classroom, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.